So the German government is currently actually falling apart. The Chancellor asked for a vote of confidence, which he lost because the German government cannot agree on anything right now besides their unequivocal support for the Israeli government. Nothing else. The future is not looking good. I wanted to make this video to kind of explain to everybody what's going on over there, why it's looking bleak, and why your German friends might be a bit depressed in the coming weeks. But first of all, we'll have to start with the people that have ruled Germany recently, a coalition of parties that we call the Traffic Light Coalition. Traffic Light Coalition, also a great name because they did a lot of standing still. The reason they're called the traffic lights, though, is because the colors of the three parties in there make up a traffic light. You have the yellow party, the FDP, which is a libertarian party led by a man who's a Dragon Ball Z fusion of every annoying friend you've ever had. The German Green Party, which is a very neoliberal green party, like all over Europe at the moment. They are not really excelling in anything, even though they had a big surge in votes. They're not really doing anything because they piss off every farmer in the country. Biggest party is the SPD. They're the red in the traffic light. They're a central-left party in Germany. They were built out of unions. They were built out of the workers' rights movement, and they've completely lost that edge from back then. They're the sort of party where every single time they seem to have progressive ideas, they very quickly backpedal. And in the current government, they're led by a nearly senile old man who barely knows what's going on. Sound familiar? Maybe you should change the color from red to blue, you know what I mean? A libertarian party, a green party, and a centre-left party working together is just gonna be a disaster. Didn't make any progress for all the years of the government. And then the Chancellor basically asked, hey, do you guys still trust me? And everybody in the parliament said, no. And now we are facing another snap general election in Germany, which is scary because the other options are not looking much better either. All three of those parties are projected to lose a huge amount of support. The biggest rival, and traditionally one of the biggest parties in Germany, is the CDU, the Christian Democratic Union. And yes, they do have Christian in the name of the party, because according to the CDU, you can call your party a Christian party and still be part of a secular government, which obviously makes total sense. The party is influenced by Christianity. That has nothing to do with religion influencing politics. That's fine. But if your party is influenced by Islam, now that's scary. We don't understand that at all over here in Germany. Also important to mention, the CDU is called the CSU in Bavaria. Things have different names in Bavaria sometimes, and things are a little different in Bavaria sometimes, because Bavaria is autistic. The whole place. You probably remember these guys as the party of Mummy Merkel when she was running Germany for like 200 years. Gegen Merkel! It is important to note this party has now lurched quite a bit to the right and is not the same party they were since then, but they're not as right-wing yet as a certain other party. But first off, there's Die Linke, which is a catch-all leftist party that is trying to catch as many different leftists as possible. And of course, the party is constantly ripped apart by infighting because it's a catch-all leftist party. I think I already mentioned it. Of course it is. But to be honest, a party of people who can't agree on anything and don't get anything done due to constant bickering about details, that's kind of the most German thing possible. They do represent the country well. Then we also have BSW, Bündnis Sarah Wagenknecht, which is another leftist splinter party who splinter from the Die Linke. And they're modeled around Sarah Wagenknecht, who is a pretty popular politician in Germany at the moment. She's a leftist leader. The party is quite interesting, but a bit odd as well, since a lot of their policies seems like they roll dice and pick whatever comes up. A lot of them make no real sense. It is kind of like a mixed match between different ideas. For example, they're critical of military aid to the Ukraine, but they're also critical of green politics. Very weird. They're critical of the EU as well, I think. They're critical of a lot of things. They like to complain. That's kind of their thing, all right? They're also very, very new party. This is one of the first elections they ever run in. Their program maybe gets a bit more streamlined before the election. We will see what their main points is they're running on. At the moment, no one really has any idea because it's kind of all over the place. Then, of course, we have the AfD, the obligatory far-right populist party that every fucking European country has to have now because that's the world we live in. You might have seen this party in the news recently as Elon Musk has officially endorsed them. Famously, he said that the AfD has the exact same policies as Barack Obama, which is untrue. The AfD is a nationalist German party that wants to bring stuff back to the good old days. That's definitely not gonna go wrong. Just when people think us Germans have learned from our past. They're very good at gaslighting, especially a young demographic in Germany. They're gaslighting a young demographic into believing that their economic issues and uncertainties are actually the fault of immigrants instead of the fault of a capitalist consolidation of power, of big business lobbyists and politicians who are really responsible for these economic inequalities. That's the big parlor trick. They're gaslighting Nazis, you know what I mean? Gen Z Nazis. Gatekeep girl boss gas chamber. You know what I mean? Editing down here, I just realized I forgot to record a conclusion. I'm so unorganized. Who am I? The current German government? I didn't want the video to end on such a negative note, even though I know everybody in Germany is currently worried about the confusion and the infighting. But just to ease the biggest worry of all German voters, I just want to reassure you that all parties have already agreed to condemn Hamas and send 5 billion euros of aid to Israel.
Ja, es gibt bestimmt Leute, die denken, dass ich oberflächlich bin, aber ich bin eigentlich gar nicht oberflächlich. Ich habe auch hässliche Freunde.